Hey guys, so this is the look we're doing today. It's a very nice grungy black lip blue highlight type of look. I'm really into it. I love a good grunge look with a good bold lip, and what's more bold than black? So I hope you guys like this look. I'm not gonna ramble any further, and let's get into the tutorial. I can't talk today, it's too much coffee, but let's get into it. Alright guys, so I already moisturized my skin. Today I'm using my same that I always use, the Aven, the Lipid Replenishing Balm, because my skin is very dry and irritated today, because again, I'm using Retin-A. For those of you guys who don't know, if you don't know what Retin-A is and all the benefits, please look it up. Moving on, so for my eyes today, I think I'm going to do my eyes first. So to prime, I'm obviously going to use my Shape Tape. Today I'm using the shade Fair. I always like to go lighter with my eye bases because I do have a lot of discoloration to my eyelids and just around my eyes in general, so I always like to blank it out, but I also like to lighten the eyelids so that way when I do shadows, it's just a little bit more pigmented. My eyelids are actually really dry today just because of the skincare, so I'm actually going to set down this primer with my Anastasia Shadow in Blanc. Taking this on that Real Techniques setting brush. And just packing it over top. So the first color I'm going in with is the MAC Cosmetics Shadow in Kid. I'm not sure if this is actually still existing in like the MAC line. I know that when I first originally bought it, they were like talking about discontinuing it, but that's like literally every like go-to MAC shadow, so who knows. It's just a nice like cool toned medium brown. And I'm taking that on a Morphe M504 brush, which is just a nice like domed brush. And I'm looking over to the side right here because I actually have a mirror here, so we don't have to do a handheld mirror and get it in the way of the camera. Obviously I can't talk today. Today is actually Sunday. I honestly don't know when I'll be uploading this because I'm actually really bad at uploading even like 3 days later, but I'm really trying to stay on top of it. I'm just like, I don't know, it's just like a creative funk lately. It's just like one big funk, TBH, but it's just like sometimes like I'm like, you know, I want to do this or I want to do that, and then once I sit down to do it, it just doesn't happen. So, and I think a lot of it is my setup and my lighting. I actually have really invested a lot into my camera and lights and everything like that, but I feel like my lighting always looks off and I'm not completely happy with it, and I'm like not the most like tech savvy person, so it's always a good time. It's always, you know, it's always interesting. So that's the Kid shade built up, and now I'm going to take Makeup Geek's Bandwagon, which is another cool toned shade. It's just a little bit darker, so it's going to add a little bit of depth into the crease. And I'm actually taking this on a Morphe R39 brush from the Rose Gold brush collection. And just lightly, I'm holding my brush very far back because I want a light hand. And I'm just rocking it through the crease. So I'm kind of playing this by ear today. I'm actually redoing this look that I recorded, but you know, things happen with technology and we're not going to talk about it, but I'm going to switch things up a bit. So for the lid, I'm going to be using the Ideal Duo from Dose of Colors in Frozen. It's a nice like platinum shade. So the good thing about these is, again, as I mentioned in other videos, they have a cream and then they have a pigment underneath. So I'm going to take the cream on a brush, obviously. MakeupByDG Cosmetics little flat brush. And I'm going to put it all over the lid. And this is a very, very emollient base. So if you're very oily, use this sparingly because it will kind of melt down all over your lids throughout the day. So I usually tend to just use a little bit and spread it out as much as I can, but it is emollient, so that way it really holds the pigment in place. So I feel like the pigment tends not to travel as much, but you, again, just make sure you're not using too much. And I literally take it right up to where the crease is. And then I'm gonna dip into the pigment, which is right underneath. And I'm taking it on the other side of that same brush. And this is like a really nice white pigment. And these have so much dimension to them, it's insane, I love it. And I'm patting right on top. And I'm patting across the lid to make sure that we're covering all of that cream base. And I'm going to take one of the brushes we use in the crease and just rock around the pigment. And this pigment might travel up a little bit throughout the day because I do have more of a hooded lid, but I don't mind that. It's more of a grunge look, so it's supposed to look a little bit undone, and that's as far as I can really go when it comes to being undone with makeup. So I don't really mind that. Obviously, as you can see, there's fallout, so if you're worried about that, like put a tissue underneath your eye and then pat it on and then let it kind of fall onto that, or you can do like baking under your eyes. I just can't do the powder under my eyes sitting for too long because it just literally sucks the life from under my eyes, and my under eyes get like literally like cracked and constricted, and yeah. So I'm gonna do the other eye and we'll be right back. Set my under eyes, and as always, I'm gonna apply a little bit of my Too Faced Lip Injections Extreme. I literally use this almost every day. For foundation today, I'm using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid per usual in NC25, and I'm actually mixing a little bit of the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye in medium. I really like how moisturizing this is. It is thick, but I do like how kind of like, I don't know, it just has that moisture to it. And you know, who doesn't like being moist, you know? And I'm just dotting this all over the face. Since I am dry and actually kind of peeling today, I just want that, oh, I didn't apply primer. Well, moving on. I literally have never done my foundation with like no, well, I'm sure I have before, but that I can remember, I've never done foundation with no primer, so we'll see how this works out. Actually, I kind of need primer on my nose because pores are too much. Try doing this, and I'm taking my Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. It's a smoothing one. I'm taking a small little pump, and I'm gonna put this on my nose and right here. Yep, that's all I can do. And then I'm gonna apply some foundation right over top. And we'll see if it smooths out, hopefully it does. Obviously, damp beauty blender. A little tip, if you guys are ever like super dry, if you also use like Retin-A or tretinoin or any kind of skincare that does make you peel, always go for a beauty blender, just because I feel like when I use a brush, it's literally micro exfoliating my face and it just makes me peel even more, so I always use a beauty blender. So I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape in Fair and I'm going to highlight the F out of my face basically. Some days I'm very like, oh, you know, like natural highlight, yeah, for sure. Then other days it's just like, you know, I want a really bright highlight. I did apply a little bit of that same It Cosmetics concealer right under my eye where my darkness is, because if you're gonna do a really like white under eye, you need to correct first if you have darkness, because if I just went in straight with this fair shade, it would look so ashy. Alright, so I had a little bit of a malfunction, so long story short, all I've done is I set my under eyes because everything was literally like melting, and I turned on my AC because it's hot in the OC today. So I set my under eyes with my MAC Studio Fix powder in NC20. You guys know that I like to set my under eyes and then I like to bake. But I forgot one thing. What I want to do is do a little bit of forehead bronzing. I honestly think that my face is just like not holding together because I didn't use primer. So everything's kind of just coagulating and being weird, probably because I applied that primer the way I did. But we're rolling with it, so nothing some powder can't fix, you know? Beauty blender, and I'm just blending this back into my hairline. Again, I always do a little bit of cream bronzer because I feel like my bronzer tends to fade the fastest and it just gets patchy and weird. So I always do cream little like bronzer first and blend it back into my hairline. And it's actually a lot easier to blend a cream into the hairline seamlessly than powder, at least for me. So I always like to do a cream. I can get away with not doing it like for like cheekbone bronzing everywhere else though, you know. And now to do a little like slight bake under the eyes, I'm taking this Tarte sponge and my Derma Blend powder, and then I'm just getting out anything that creased and just setting it. I'm actually gonna take this Derma Blend powder and bring it down my face. So instead of like swiping it off, I'm actually just taking that excess powder and working it into the skin and making sure it's not gonna go anywhere. And then for bronzer today, I'm taking one of my favorites as of late. This is actually my second one. This is the Maybelline Better Skin Powder in shade 80. And it's just like a nice neutral, cool-ish. It's like cool tone, but I don't want to say cool tone because it's not super cool toned. And I'm taking that on this Delium Tools brush. The number has rubbed off and I've had this forever. I actually got this a long time ago. And I really love duo fiber brushes because I feel like they give a very like blended, seamless application. So I'm kind of taking it from the back of the cheekbone and working it in. And then for contour today, I'm going to take one of my Makeup Geek contours. I believe this is Infidelity. And I'm taking that on my Morphe M510. I love this brush for contouring. So precise, but it blends everything out like perfectly. And I'm literally going to take this right into the hollows of the cheeks and bring it forward. Because I want more of like a sucked in, very gaunt look to my face. For me personally, that Maybelline powder on an everyday basis is actually a great, very natural contour. And I love that powder because you can build it up and it doesn't get muddy right away. So it's super easy. And then for blush, I'm taking Bliss from Makeup Geek on this Motives Cosmetics duo fiber brush. And this is just their powder brush. This one's a little bit more pink than I'm used to, but it's still very light. And again, using a duo fiber brush will give you more sheer application. So for highlight today, I definitely wanted to do more of a colored highlight. I really don't get to wear blue highlight as much as I would like to anymore. So I pulled out my Kat Von D Alchemist palette. Can I tell you that when I first received this, I was like, is my mini or, cause this is literally like, where's my shadows at? Please hold. So Makeup Geek shadow, Kat Von D highlight. No comment. Moving on, I'm gonna take my Anastasia A23 brush and I'm dipping into the amethyst and the sapphire and mixing them together. And this is my favorite highlight brush. And I'm going right on top of the cheek. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's pigmented, but like the size though, like when I do smoky eyes, since my eyes are more hooded, I really like a lower like smokiness. So I'm taking my MAC Costa Riche eye kohl and I'm really gonna work it into the eye. Let me zoom you in a little bit. I'm really gonna work it into the eye. And I'm also gonna work it up into my lash line. And then I'm gonna line my top lash line a bit with this. Just like a very like smudged out line. A little bit of something. And this is honestly super easy to do even like on an everyday basis. Now you can obviously opt for black or more of a cool tone brown. This is a very warm tone brown. So if you have any kind of like green, blue, any kind of color to your eyes, even like honey brown eyes, it really makes them pop with that reddiness. But if you do have very red and irritated eyes, it will make that stand out too. So I have very bad allergies, but I'm just F it with it, so. I'm taking the same bandwagon shadow from earlier on this little Luxie eye shading brush, and I'm really packing on that shadow. And this is the same color that we used in the crease. I'm just gonna start smudging this out. This is an eye kohl, so it does not set, so it's really good for like smudgy looks. Or if like eye kohls that have like that bond building in it that kind of irritates the eye. This is good too because it doesn't have that like heavy like staying power that some people get really irritated eyes from. Line on the top too because it's very subtle but not too much and very natch. So off camera, I'm going to do some mascara, well, a lot of mascara, and then I'm going to find what lashes I'm going to wear. I'm also going to do brows off camera, and we will be back. I totally forgot, but I'm taking that same sapphire shade from the Kat Von D highlight palette, and I'm taking it on a Luxie concealer brush, the 211, and I'm going to put this on my inner corner. Alright, so I put on my lashes, and these are actually from Ace Beauté, and this is a set of 4, and these are the MUA Ashley lashes on this side, but I believe these ones are either called Jade or Camila. I'm not sure which ones, but I don't know. It's not like in the right place, so I'm not sure, so I'm sorry. To line my lips, I'm using the Makeup Geek Full Spectrum Eyeliner in Espresso. I want to line my lips first because I am going to be wearing a black lip today, and I want my lines to be very sharp and precise, so I feel like a lip liner is the best way to get a very precise line. So I'm going to be lining this with this and then filling in with the lipstick, so let's do that. Alright, so I try to get my lines as precise AF as possible. For lipstick today, I'm using the Anastasia Liquid Lipstick in Midnight. I've had this forever and I've used it, I think, a couple times. But I should probably get a new one soon, but I'm not, so... But yeah, it's just literally a matte black. I'm gonna apply it. Alright guys, so this is the finished look, and I'm actually like, I really like this lip. Like, it's matte, but at the same time it has like more of a satin finish, but it's also transfer proof. So it's actually really nice. Definitely gonna try and see if I can find another black lip that I like. Name your favorite black lip in the comment below and I'll definitely check it out. Don't recommend me ColourPop because I'm just not gonna do that. If you have a certain line of lipsticks you'd love to see us watch video on, whether they're regular or liquid lips or I don't know, just let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to do so. And yeah, I hope you guys like this look. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, I will see you then.